What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But you'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's program. I'm excited to be here on this Thursday evening with you to present to you what I believe will be the last golf lesson you ever need. I'm going to explain that because it's an important time for me to explain things to you from the experience I've had as a golfer, not only sitting in your shoes trying to get better at golf, but also I've been doing this for the last 30 years. And I want to talk to you tonight. And the expectation you can have from me is to show you a logical, systematic approach to how you can get better at the game of golf. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And I understand, and I know tonight this will be the last golf lesson that you're ever going to need, because I'm going to solve your golf swing issues and it gets you to play better golf for the rest of your life. Now, a couple of things, just homework before we get started. I'm going to actually have a chat up here, and I like to do these events live. So I'll be posting a chat so I can do some communication with you. I might ask you a few questions. We'll also do a little Q&A at the end of the program, so if you have some questions about what I'm discussing tonight, you can ask those questions. So I like to do this presentation live. That allows you to interact with me, ask questions if you have anything about what I'm going to present tonight. Now, there's a couple things I'm going to do for you tonight. The one most important thing is, let me just introduce myself. My name is Todd Graves. I'm co-founder of Graves Golf. I'm actually here at the Graves Golf Performance Center. This is a performance center we built in Edmond, Oklahoma, just in the last year, that allows golfers to come from around the world and train on this stuff that I'm going to teach you tonight. We're actually in the academy, we're in the studio tonight, but behind me is a golf course, a 6-hole training course with a full driving range, and an entire facility built around exactly what I've been going to do for you tonight, is teaching you a simple, logical way to get better at golf. And it'll be the first time you've ever heard something this logical, so sit down, take a break, and really focus on things I'm going to show you, because you won't believe how simple it is what I'm going to discuss with you tonight. Now, probably the most important reason I'm standing in front of you tonight is simply because I was in your shoes. I'll tell you a quick story about this. Years ago, I was a struggling professional golfer, traveling around the world and playing professional golf tournaments, but I wasn't the greatest player in the world. I was good enough to try to make it on the tour for a living, but I found myself in Southeast Asia. Now, I'm traveling on the Asian tour, playing in a lot of different golf courses in countries where most people don't speak English. And it was an interesting time for me, and I end up on a golf course in New Delhi, India. And I played the first round, I played okay in the first round, and I'm playing the second round. And what happened is, as I started progressing in the second round, moving into the 15th, 16th, 17th holes, I found myself standing on the 18th tee, and I don't know if you've ever felt this way before. I could not take the club back. I was frozen at address. I was literally like this, standing on the tee, and I couldn't take the club back. And the reason is because throughout the round, during that day, I started losing confidence in my swing. And the golf course was difficult, and there was things on the golf course, you didn't want to hit it in the rough. And I said to myself, that day I finished the round of golf. I think I shot 75 or 76, not very good for a professional golfer. And I walked off the course and I said to myself, I don't ever want to feel that way again. I don't ever want to lose that much confidence in my game, that where I could not swing the club. When I left the Asian tour and I came back to the United States, I went on a mission. And that mission was to become a better ball striker, to build confidence in my golf swing, confidence in my consistency, so I would never have that experience again. I spent 3 years traveling around the United States, working with the absolute best instructors in the world, the guys who all the tour players spent time with, the guys who thought they knew everything about the golf swing, some great instructors. And 3 years into it, I was worse. I didn't get any better. Now, I always tell people this, that I've spent more money on golf instruction than almost everybody I can ever meet. I know I've spent more money on golf instruction than you. And I had done that, and I was a worse golfer. And that was another frustrating part. I was this close to quitting. I could not, I got to the point where so much instruction out there, the same thing you experience when you watch YouTube and you go on the golf channel and you hear all these instructors on the internet. You're in the same boat that I was. You're getting a lot of information from a lot of people, and you wouldn't be here if it was absolutely helping you. And that's where I was. That was in 1994. But I got extremely lucky in 1994. And I was living in Dallas, Texas, and a friend of mine came. He'd been playing on the Canadian tour, and he came to my apartment, and he says, you got to see this guy he has on video. You got to see this guy hitting a golf ball. And he showed me a guy named Mo Norman. And this gentleman, when I looked at the video, my friend said to me, this guy is a freak when it comes to hitting a golf ball. He is that good. He goes, Todd, I've never seen anything so good as this guy, Mo Norman, hitting a golf ball. Now, I had heard of Mo Norman before, but I'd never really seen him in person, and this was the first time I really saw his golf swing in person. And when I looked at that videotape, I immediately knew that what I saw on that tape was the absolute best way to strike a golf ball. It met all the criteria of all the instruction I'd learned from all my instructors, but it simplified it. It made the golf swing simple. I'm gonna explain that to you tonight. I'm gonna explain how I can simplify your golf swing for you. It's a very important part of what tonight's presentation is about. So here's what I'm gonna do for you tonight. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we're here for and how I can help you. The first thing I want you to understand is that I do not like things to be confusing, and I don't like to guess at things, and I know you don't either. We want solid solutions and answers. So let's look at this from a certain perspective. Now, one of the things I want you to think about tonight is I'm gonna help you build a solution, right? So the goal is to get to a solution. That solution is consistency, right? Our goal is to make you a consistent ball striker. That means when you go to the golf course every single day, you're gonna hit it down the fairway, you're gonna hit a green, and then you're gonna chip, and you're gonna putt. And you can do it every single time, fairways and greens, and I want you to become a boring golfer. People say it to me all the time, Todd, you're such a boring golfer. And I love when people tell me that, because that means I'm hitting fairways and hitting greens. So I want to help you become more consistent. That's the result I want for you. So this is your result. Now, I gotta get you to this result. I wanna help you become a consistent ball striker. So I gotta do a couple things. The first thing, and that's gonna be our outcome, is this consistency. The first thing I wanna do is I gotta give you a way to do that. That's with the single plane swing. So that's step one. I'm gonna give you a single plane golf swing. I'm gonna explain what it is. I'm gonna show you how it's the easiest way to strike a golf ball. I'm gonna give you some fundamentals to it. I'm gonna teach you the single plane golf swing tonight. I'm gonna give it to you, right? So that's the first thing, a simple way to play. This is absolutely, I'm gonna show you how this is the easiest way to strike a golf ball. So that's good. That's a good part of the strategy, right? Is to give you a simple golf swing. The second thing I'm gonna give you is a way to learn it. I'm gonna give you a formula to learn it, right? If you're gonna start a business, many of you probably are business owners or have run a business, doesn't it make sense to have a great product, to then have a way to deliver that product, right? The formula to learn it, and then I'm gonna get you this result. This is your outcome. So I'm gonna give you tonight a simple way to get the job done, the single plane swing. I'm gonna teach you exactly a perfect way to learn it, a strategy to learn it, and then we're gonna get you the result, and that result's gonna make you a consistent golfer. That's my goal for you tonight. It's a very simple process here, and I'm gonna show you tonight that everything I'm gonna show you and teach you in tonight's show, tonight's class, is common sense. Nothing is gonna be, you're gonna say at the end of the show tonight, why doesn't everybody do it this way? Well, first of all, why doesn't everybody swing the club this way? That's the first thing. The second thing you're gonna say is, why doesn't everybody learn it this way? And the third thing is, how can you not get perfect results if you do it this way? The other thing I'm gonna do for you is kind of a side note here,
is I'm going to show you tonight that this single plane swing is already inside of you. It exists inside of you. I'll explain that to you in a minute, but this swing is already inside of you. It's the natural way that your body is designed to hit a golf ball. I'm going to show you how that is. That's why it's a single plane. That's why it's simple. Now, if Tristan will throw the chat up there, I can maybe start talking to some of the folks out there in the crowd. I have a few questions for you. How many of you out there, and just give me a one if the answer is yes. Tell me if you're currently taking golf lessons or if you've taken golf lessons in the past. Give me a one on there. I want to know how many people are currently taking some lessons. And one of the things I want you to understand about my little process here, my formula, is that this is not a guessing game. This is not a quick fix lesson. I am not interested in giving quick fixes because I don't believe quick fixes work, right? I don't believe they work. Quick fixes are you're trying to solve a problem and you're guessing at it. We don't guess. I don't guess here. I've been doing this almost 30 years now, and we don't guess here. That's why I built this entire academy here, because we solve and have an equation to solve the problem. That's why I'm going to tell you this is the last golf lesson you'll ever need. Let's talk about the single plane swing. Now, lots of ones, lots of lessons. Okay, lots of people taking lessons out there, right? I mean, look, you guys showed up tonight, which I'm very impressive. Congratulations for showing up tonight. You guys are trying to get better, just like I was back in the early 90s. You're trying to get better. I honor that and I appreciate that. And I don't want you to struggle like I did. I want you to find the solution, so that's why I'm here tonight to help you. Single plane swing. Let's talk about ball striking in general. The most important part of ball striking is what? Getting to the moment of impact. We have to strike the ball at impact consistently. I'll give you a little bit of statistic here. When I used to do a lot of data-driven work around the golf swing, there was only one piece of data that determined whether a player was a high-quality player up to a tour player level. There was only one piece of data. If all I had was the data of you hitting golf balls, and I had everybody in the room's data of hitting golf balls, and it was all on a sheet of paper, there was only one piece of data on that paper that you could actually predict the player's ability to be a high-quality player, and that was the consistency of ball speed. For example, if you hit an 8-iron at the same ball speed every single time, or you hit a wedge, or you hit a driver, or a 5-iron, if the ball was coming off consistently at the same speed, what it meant was that you're getting to impact the same way every time. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means if the ball has the same speed, you can control it, and you know the distance it's going, right? So, what does it really mean to have consistent ball speeds? It means you're getting to impact correctly every single time. So impact is the litmus test for a golf swing. Are you getting to impact correctly the same way every single time? So I gotta put that up here, how important that is, impact. That moment that we strike the golf ball, I'm gonna show it to you. Let me go to impact position, and I'll just kind of demonstrate what it looks like. Impact, and this is a 6-iron here, but impact looks like this. When you strike a golf ball, you see the tilt of the body. You see the club will line up with the arm. The back of the hand will go towards the target. The club will have a lean or a shaft lean to it if it's an iron. You'll compress that golf ball, and you'll be able to get to the spot every single time and compress that ball. And this 6-iron would come off the same way at the same speed every single time. And by the way, it wasn't the amount of speed. There was a girl down the range, LPGA Tour player, didn't have a lot of speeds, but she had just won on the LPGA Tour because she was very consistent. So this is our consistency litmus test. Are we getting to impact the same way every time? Which means we're not coming across to get to impact. One not come from the inside, one comes over the top. It's not that. It's coming into impact the exact same way every single time. All right? So that's my goal, is to show you a golf swing that focuses 100% on delivering the club to impact the most efficient way and the same way every time. Give me a 1 if you understand that this entire show tonight is about getting you to the most important moment of the golf swing. That's what this is all about. Okay. Now, how can I get you there? Well, let's show you here. And I'm going to show you what's going on with what you're probably learning and how I can tell you this is the last lesson you'll ever need. And I want to, instead of putting 1s, let's put yes on this next answer. I love the chat. I love listening to you guys chat in here. So how many of you learned this? Well, 2 things you probably learned in your golf lesson. Maybe you're currently taking the lessons. 2 things you've probably learned. 1, they taught you the grip first. How many? Give me a yes that they taught you grip first. Give me a yes. I want to see how many people learned that first. And then the second thing is, did you learn, yes or no, did you learn to hang the arms straight down below your shoulders? This is what they teach, right? Hang the arms below the shoulders and then learn to grip the club like this, right? Yes. That's what they teach, right? Lots of yeses. So they teach you to grip the club, then hang your arms below the shoulders. Let me ask you this question. And again, this is all common sense. None of that has anything to do with impact. What they're teaching you, if they taught you to hang your arms straight down, and they taught you to grip the club, it had nothing to do with impact, did it? Had everything to do with hanging the arms down and grip, but nothing impact. Why? And so what they did, they put you in this position. The problem with the arms hanging straight down like this looks pretty normal, right, for most people. The problem is this is not where you impact. You impact where the club comes down and it will line up. Look at it lining up with my arms. It will line up with whatever's swinging it, the arms. So your body has to lift. So if you start like this, your body has to lift to a higher plane. In other words, you're starting like this and impacting like this. So you're not starting in a body position or a grip position that helps you with impact. Yes? Right? So this is right here. That's why I said this will be the most important golf lesson of your life, because where you're starting to swing right now is what's holding you back 100%. It's making it so difficult to get to the most important moment that you're going to fight this forever. Golf instructors get accused of wanting you to keep coming back for more lessons. Have you ever heard that before? Have you guys ever heard that? Yeah, it's so complicated. They have this recurring revenue because you keep coming back for more lessons. I want to teach you this, and then I want you to go on and play golf. I want you to learn this and have a great time playing golf. If you never see me again, just learn this swing. You don't have to come back to me. That's my goal, is that you don't keep coming back. You learn this golf swing. That's my goal for you. So I'm going to show you how do we do this, right? So instead of this, I'm going to teach you, instead of hanging the arms below the shoulders like this and having to figure out how to somehow get the club to impact, which is most people can't figure out. Matter of fact, the average male score in the last 7 years is 97 because people can't figure out how to do it. It's too complicated. Watch this. How about we do this? How about instead of hanging your arms down here, I put them on the exact same position of where I'm going to be at impact. How about I set the club on the same plane? See, the club has a design. It's designed to be on a plane. I set it on its design. I take it back and I bring it down right back to where it's designed. So it looks like this. I set it aligned with the arm. I take it back and realign it with the arm. I set it lined up with the trail arm. I take it back and it realigns with the trail arm. Single plane. I start on the same plane I impact. All right. Let's go through that. I'm going to show you everything I'm going to show you in the swing, every single detail of this, starting with what I just showed you, the address position. I'll show you it again. That address position, the backswing position, the downswing position, obviously the impact position, the release position, even the finish position of this swing is designed to improve and increase your ability to get to impact, to make you more efficient. Everything about this swing is about the most important moment. Okay, so here we go. Let's go through the entire swing right here. I want you to, when you look at me do this, when I teach you this motion, when I teach you this swing, I want you to look at it from this perspective, that everything I'm doing here is to help me get to impact. So watch what I do. When I start the swing, obviously, this starting position, club lined up with the arm, tilt of my body, that's where the body's going to be at impact. Back of the hand to the target. I'm going to take the club back to what we call position one. I'm going to turn into a rotation here. I'm going to take the club back. So I'm just turning away. This position here is really the same as my address position. I just turned a little bit. I'm going to take it to the top and leverage the club. So this is to add speed to the golf club. Now, I'm going to show you swing plane in a minute. Well, I got to show down the line, but that's right now I'm on a plane that's going to help me get to impact, all right? Now, I'm going to stabilize the body. I'm going to turn. This is what we call position three. I'm going to turn. And then look at my body. It's tilted. Look at my lead knee is stable. Watch this. Deliver the club to impact, we call position four. So now I'm in a position to go right back to my impact position. Now watch my body, it's still tilted. I can extend. So this is how speed gets released, like this. So you'll see me get to impact and release it. So the tilt of the body, the trail arm is bent, releases the club. There's position 5. And then watch this, position 6. Again, the club's getting back on plane. I'll show you that in a minute. Position 6. So every single position I'm teaching you here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every single position of my body right there was the absolute most efficient motion to get me to impact. I'm going to do it down the line and show you the swing plane. Then I'm going to explain why the body, this is the most efficient way with biomechanics. All right, watch this. So you saw me just make the swing motion from face on view. Now this is where it gets really interesting. So instead of hanging the arms down here below the shoulders like this, I'm putting the club on the impact plane. Watch this. The club's going to go back. Now watch this when it starts coming up. See that? That's the same plane as I started. Look at the club shaft line. That plane and this plane are the same. The club goes up. Watch this. Same plane. Coming down. Back to impact. Same plane. Extension. And then watch this. Back. Same plane. So every single part of this movement of this club is referencing the original address plane. Now, let me show you what that would look like if I wasn't doing that. That's not on plane. That's not on plane, right? So if I start here, I've got to figure out where the plane is, right? My hands are too low. So I'm starting planing, 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 planing. So everything, that entire movement is based on the impact plane, the entire motion. That's the single plane swing. Okay, and that's because I had a number of things that I've done. I've tilted my body, I've put my arms in the proper position, and I'll explain that. I put my body in the most natural position, and I've moved in the most natural, non-rotational way with my hands and arms to get the club to move correctly. Okay. Now, don't get freaked out by this, but I'm going to go through a little bit of biomechanics, right? Just a little bit, because I want to show you what's actually happened biomechanically. I think this is important because I want you to understand that this isn't just another swing method out there. This is actually a discovery. What I mean by that is Mo Norman, who taught me this, he had discovered the most efficient way to use the human body to strike a golf ball. This is basically biomechanics. All of you right now have the ability to do this if you just learn how to position your body correctly. If you learn what I just taught you, every one of you can become a great ball striker without a lot more work. Just got to hit the positions correctly. Let me show you why that is. So again, we want to get to impact. So let me just go to impact really quickly. And you'll notice at impact, the back of the hand is square to the target. It's also what we call ulnar deviated. This is like releasing the wrist as hard as you can release it, and then the back of the hand of the target. So notice, in order to be fully ulnar deviated and fully back of the hand of the target, I need the tilt of my body. So that tilt's a very important part of this, the tilt, right? Okay, now I want to show you something here about this is what squares the face. So notice when I swing the club now and I go to impact and I'm coming down, not only do I want speed and I want the angle of the club, but I want to square the face every single time. Every single time. That's the only way I'm going to get the ball to fly the same way every single time. Let me show you how this club face squares because of the positions you're in. What I mean by that is when you position yourself correctly on a single plane, the club will square up without even trying every single time. It becomes very natural. How many of you are willing to kind of play with this biomechanics just a minute? Just a minute, okay? So do me a favor here. If you're sitting in your chair, you're sitting at home, let's play around with your biomechanics real quick because you'll understand that this stuff it's just basically common sense. So I want you to go ahead and stand, or you can sit in your chair, but sit straight up in your chair and put your lead arm, left arm, if you're a right-handed golfer, will be your left arm. Put your lead arm in front of you like this, okay? And I just want you to turn it. And just like hitchhike up, and look, my thumb can go to the ground, and my thumb can go all the way and point towards my target. My target was that way. Look how much rotation I have in my arm, okay? Tons of rotation. Well, if that's a club face, you got tons of rotation in that face, right? If I'm swinging a club, look how much rotation I have. It goes everywhere. I want to make sure the club face is square to the target, so watch this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt. And now I'm going to put my arm in front of me, and look, it reduces some of the movement. The tilt already reduced some of the movement. I still have a little bit more than I want, but I have reduced the movement just from the tilt. This is called flexion, arms in flexion, tilt, and now I can't rotate my arm as much. Okay, good idea. Now watch this. I have tilt. And now watch this. I want you to do me a favor. Once you're tilted, internally rotate your arm, which means put your thumb to the ground. So internally rotate as you're tilted. Now, as you stay, if your upper arm stays internally rotated, I want you to turn your hand, only the forearm down, only your wrist and your forearm, not your arm, and now turn your hand and watch what happens. It can only go to the target. Target. That's as far as I can go. Max, this is a range of motion limitation. This is the max range you have of your arm. So what did I just do? I said, if I do certain things with my body, if I tilt it, put my arm in flexion, if I internally rotate my upper arm, I can only go so far with my club face. Okay, I want everybody to understand this because this is exactly what happens in a golf swing. Watch this. My arm, I'm tilted, my arm's in flexion, okay? When I make a backswing, do you notice the arm is internally rotating? When I reach the top of my swing, this arm is fully internally rotated, okay? So that's what happened. That happened in the backswing. When I come down, notice how the arm is staying internally rotated. See the upper arm, it's staying like this. Remember how I had you keep it like this? It's staying internally rotated. And look, my tilt and flexion only allow one thing to occur, squaring in the face. Look at that, square the face. I can't go past that. So you'll notice if I hit my proper positions and the proper arm position, I can only square the face. That's because I have the hand correctly positioned at address, ulnar deviated. I have my proper hand position on the club with the proper tilt of my body. Take it back, only squares. That's a sample of what Mo Norman discovered biomechanically, why he was the greatest ball striker that's ever played the game. Okay, so let's do something here. I just wanted to give you a quick sample of that. Now, let's talk about how you learn this, how I can help you learn this. The very first thing I'm going to teach you, and this is my go-to formula, right? This is my go-to formula. If you came to my academy here in Edmond, Oklahoma, and you walked out on our practice tee, I'm going to put you through this formula. If I was teaching you online, I'm going to put you this formula. If any coach here at the academy was working with you, they're putting you into this formula. The first thing is I teach you address and grip. Address and grip. Notice I said address and grip. I didn't say grip and address. Why? Well, I just explained it to you. I want your body in position, your arm in flexion, and then put your hands on the club. Because watch this, I'll give you one more little tip. Notice, remember how I put my body into the tilt and put my arm in flexion and the lead hand is to the target? Look at my trail hand. It's in a non-rotational position. See my trail hand? It looks, you guys don't say it's strong because the conventional term is strong. It's non-rotational. What does that mean? Well, from address, it goes up and down, not rotating, up and down. Up, down, up, down. Watch this. So now, when I go in the backswing, the club goes up and it comes down. It's moving non-rotationally, so I've eliminated rotation from the proper address. So I'm teaching you address and grip, and I'm using the body in the absolute most efficient way to get where. Somebody say it in the chat. Where am I trying to go? What's the goal? Impact, right? I'm putting you in the most efficient way, your body, your tilt, your arms, your hands, to where? Go to impact. 2, positions. The positions I showed you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish 6. The 6 positions, every one of those is designed for what? Impact. 3. Once I teach you the address and grip, by the way, notice those positions that I showed you? Here's the thing about learning. If you can't go into those positions right now, just like I did, I can hit every one of those positions without thinking. You have to learn them. You don't know them yet. You should be able to recite those positions just like you should be able to do anything that you could do, like drive your car down the road. You should know those positions. Your body must learn those positions. Once you learn the positions, then you sequence that. You sequence those positions, right? You put them into motion. If you don't know the positions, you can't sequence them. So you got to learn the positions. And we'll talk about this. I'm going to talk about what I call the breaks. And then number 4, guess what? I teach you speed. So this is my formula, by the way. I teach you the proper address and grip for impact. I teach you the positions that help you get to impact. I show you how to sequence those positions. You start eliminating some of them. You start sequencing them. You use what I call the breaks. I want to explain that. And then you do this really fun thing. You add speed. Now you hit the ball long distances and consistently. How many of you does that make 100% sense to? Give me a yes. If that makes total sense of how we teach the swing and how you should learn it. By the way, I'm not a genius here. This is not new. If you were going to learn to play the piano, you would learn how to sit, where to position your hands, how to sit at the piano, right? You would then learn where the notes are. You learn the positions where the notes are. And then you'd learn how to sequence those notes into what? Music. And then if you played at certain rates, you'd have a song. So this is how you learn to play the piano. If you learn to dance, how many of you out there know how to dance? If you had a 10-step dance move, you don't just start dancing. You have to learn how to position your body. You have to learn how to move from position 1 to position 2 to position 3. And then you got to learn, you put it in sequence and add some speed, you got to dance. So this is how we should learn. But guess what? Not one of you learned golf this way, because I didn't. What we did, you, me, everybody in this room that learned to play golf, we ran out with a golf club and we started adding speed to it, didn't we? Tell me yes, don't lie to me. You started adding speed to the club before you knew the positions. So we learned golf exactly backwards. How many of you learned golf backwards? Because I did. Yeah, tons of yeses. That's my favorite part of the presentation because we all learn backwards. You would never teach anybody this way. If you actually wanted them to get better fast, you would never say, good luck. Here's a club. Go figure it out. And now you're watching YouTube and you're watching me tonight because you're trying to figure it out, right? Because we didn't figure it out because we were handed a club. Yeah, I get it. Okay. By the way, this is my formula right here. Formula. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this formula. This is the power of this, guys. And I tell you what, I've been doing this now for a long time. This has been what I've been teaching for the last 30 years. This is the beautiful thing about this formula. No matter where you are, you could be an advanced player, you could be a beginner. You could be like me, I'm very advanced. I still use this formula to improve. It is my go-to, solve it all. Every problem that I have can be found right here. Tonight, when you guys ask me questions in the chat about the swing, I'll show you how this solves every single question. It's right here, because watch this. There's 6 positions, right? 1 through 6. You're gonna say, hey Todd, I'm slicing the golf ball. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Let me see your address and grip. How is it? Great, perfect, check. Let's check your positions. Position 1, is that in a position to get to impact? Position 2, is that a position to get to impact? Oh, position 2 is not good, found the problem. See that? Or position 3, or transition. Something in your formula is making impact difficult. And we can find it because it's right here in the formula. Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to try to start thinking about sequencing if the problem's in a position. Makes no sense, right? You gotta solve your problems correctly. Now, let's talk about a very important concept here which is the braking system, the brakes, because I cannot sequence my swing without the brakes. I cannot add speed without the brakes. The brakes is a very simple thing you do to correctly swing a golf club, and we can't produce speed without it. Notice when, again, biomechanics, when I go to produce speed with my body, when I go into that backswing, position 1, and then go to position 2, you'll notice, look at my trail leg, it's not moving. Now, this leg and this hip are moving. They're rotating around this leg, right? So I'm moving my body rotationally around a stable trail leg. So the trail leg has its brakes on. It's not moving. Now, what happens is I'm going to change directions. And when I change directions, I push from this braking system, I push into the lead leg. Well, guess what? The lead leg then puts on the brakes. So what happens is you get stability in the backswing, then you transition, you now get stability in the lead side. Why? Because now when I stabilize, when I need stabilization in my body to accelerate it. If I have stabilization, I can accelerate it. So now I stabilize here, that allows me to get the backswing. I stabilize here, that allows me to produce speed in the upper body. So I need to learn stabilization, the brakes. But guess what? Where were the brakes produced? How did I produce brakes in the swing? From positions. I have to learn the positions of the body. The only solution you have, every problem you have right now in your golf swing is because you've overcomplicated it with a conventional swing. That's number one. And number two, you've never learned the ideal positions to get to impact, which means you cannot accelerate the club. How many of you guys want more speed, more distance? Of course, but you can't get it because you're out of position. And your body does not know how to accelerate because you don't know how to put the brakes on because you're out of position. That's what it comes down to. So this is what I solve. This is what I do. I help people simplify their golf swings. I show them a simple way to position their body, a swing that's already inside of them biomechanically. And then I teach them the proper positions of their body. I help them learn the brakes of the swing, then I help them accelerate it. That's it. It's simple. My job is simple. You just got to learn to do it. Now, you've seen me present the single plane swing. How many of you would agree that it's a very simple way to hit a golf ball? You've seen me now present exactly how I teach it. My team came to me, this is about almost 2 years ago now, and said, Todd, you've been doing this now for 30 years. When are you going to put this online and start teaching people around the world your system? And I said, I haven't done it yet because it's a process. This is a process to learn this. It takes more than 2 days. You can't learn it from my YouTube channel. Matter of fact, I don't like my YouTube channel because it's just a quick fix. People go in there, they want a quick fix. I said, I need to actually apply this. I need a way to apply my formula to people that are interested. If we can do that, I want to put it out there. So I built a 30-day program called Single Plane 30. This is the golf training formula for the intelligent golfers out there that want to be intelligent, that want to do it the right way in a systematic way. That's why I present this like it's a business model. If you want to be smart about it and you want to solve your problems and stop guessing at this stuff, this is for you. It's a 30-day training program. This, we call it transformational, but it's actually more evolutionary for you. It's going to evolve you into a golfer because it's going to change the way you do everything that you play golf so you can get to impact in a more consistent way. Week 1 in the program, this is what we cover. I'm going to do this in red. This is week 1. Week 1, we cover the foundation, the address and grip. Right? I teach you the position of the address and grip. But it's more than just teaching you address and grip, by the way. I train you and I show you how to practice it. That's the goal. I put you there. The only way, hear me out on this, the only way you're getting better is by doing it. You can watch me do this presentation 100 times. You can watch me demonstrate the swing. You can watch me put my formula up there. You're not going to get better. The only way you're getting better is if you do the training. That's why we built the program where you do it. So in week 1, you're doing everything to help your address and grip. I'm going to teach you exactly what to do. Week 2, key positions. And when you learn key positions, guess what? You start learning the breaks because you don't get breaks without positions. So we teach you the key positions of the swing, the things I showed you. We do those with you. We train you how to hit the key positions of the swing. Week 3, sequencing. Right? Now that you have the positions and the breaks, we can start putting you into motion. Sequencing, right? Fun part, start getting some motion. We start learning how to get what? For week 4, speed. Let me know in the chat, common sense? Here's where you're missing it though. You're not doing it. See, you have to do it. You have to do the training to get it, right? You can watch me do it all day long. You can watch me present this. You can even agree with me. You can say, man, this is the greatest thing ever. You got to do it. You got to do the training. That's what this is all about. So now this is the 4 weeks. This is what I walk you through. This is called single plane 30. Now, you're going to think this is the most, I'm going to charge you a fortune for this. Here's what I want to do for you tonight. Not only do I'm going to give you this, show you this program, but there's other things involved in the program. Back the slides up for a second, Tristan. I'm going to go through this for a second. I want you to make sure you do the training. You're not going to get better until you do it. So I built in daily accountability. So every single day, you get a training module. In other words, I'm telling you what to do every single day. You're not ever going to see a golf program like this, by the way. How many instructors are telling you what to do every single day? I think I've got more requests for this in my lifetime than anything. Todd, what should I do? What should I do? What should I work on today? What should I practice today? I'm telling you exactly every single day what to do. For example, this module right here, week 1, day 1, tells you 5 sets of 20 reps. So it tells you what to do. It's a video that shows you what to do. And it says do 5 sets of 20 reps. Sometimes we have you repeat that. And the goal is to learn and feel the address position. I'm telling you exactly what to do and what you're learning every single day. The next thing I'm going to do, and I think that the modules are such an important part, is I'm going to give you coaching support. I do some of it. I used to do all of it. I do some of it now. The coaching team here does most of it. I pop in because you guys are very important to me, and my business is helping you guys get better. So it's my business to make sure you improve in this program. So you can see what we do is we give you coaching support. We not only do live sessions with you once a week, so we do Q&A sessions with you to support you. We also allow you to put pictures into we have a stream on our Single Plane Academy where the coaches can interact with you. You can post pictures of your swing. Show that sample again real quick, Tristan, if you would. You can see a guy posted a picture of his backswing. You can submit pictures and positions, and we can give you coaching feedback, right? I want to show your positions. If you can't show your positions, you're not learning the training. So we want to help you through that. We support you with that. Here's the program, by the way. It's a 30-day progressive training program delivering modules to you every single day for 30 straight days. Every single day you do training. We have daily accountability, and you see the value of that, $349 value. The coaching support, $1,000 value. That's my coaches spending their time with you. That's the coaches interacting with you. It's the $2,000 package we deliver for $297. And by the way, I want to tell you something about the program, and put the link up there. Might as well put the link up there so if people are interested. We start at the beginning of every month, the first Monday of the month, every single month. You can't just sign up for this program anytime. We start at the first Monday of the month because everybody in the program is being coached at the same pace. We want to interact with you at the same pace. So that's why we do it this way, because we're very involved with your progress. That way we're all going through it at the same rate. The questions we're asking in the large group. Sometimes we'll get 200, 300, 400 people in the program, and we get lots of questions. So we want to make sure everybody's asking the appropriate questions for those weeks. I'm going to give you something too, because obviously, oh, by the way, here's the link, gravesgolf.com/enroll. That is the place to go sign up for the program. Once you get to the program, you're going to want to go to the golf course, but I want to give you some power in your swing, because once you get the positions and learn to produce speed, you're going to want power as well. I'm going to give you my $500 Power Generation Masterclass. I'm going to give that to you. It's another class I produced to help you take your new golf swing and develop it even further. You'll learn the key positions of stability, the braking system, and basically you'll learn the difference between power and speed, how the lower body movement, how it stabilizes for the upper body to produce speed, how to train and build that even further, and then how to increase it. That's what the Power Generation class is all about. But you can't do any of that really without this, right? You got to get through this first. Now, here's the kicker for tonight. By the way, How many people we have on here tonight? Do we have any numbers? About 350 people, okay. We only take 200 people in the class. We got 350 people on tonight. Okay, but listen to this. For tonight only, those of you watching this live right now, if you're new to this, I'm going to give you $420 of our key training aids, and I'm going to show you what those are for signing up tonight. So basically, I'm giving you this class for nothing. I'm going to give you money by giving you these training aids. Let me show you what they are, because here's the key to practicing. The reps are important. Doing it correctly is very important. I want to make sure you're doing it correctly. Obviously, a coach cannot be in the room with you. So I can't be in there with you. However, I asked that question to myself, if a coach isn't in the room, how can I make it to where there's like a coach in the room with them? So I developed training aids. These aids give you visual and guidance on your training. Let me show you what they are. The first one is what's on the ground here. This is the alignment and ball position trainer. This helps you understand foot position, where the ball gets positioned. It gives you the stance width for the club, and this teaches you how to stand and put the ball in the proper place. Now, in single plane 30, you're not outside hitting golf balls. We use this outside as well. But here's an interesting thing. I'll give you some more science really quick. When I stand here like this, and I just go into my address and grip position, just like this, and I put my feet correctly, which we teach you, and I put the ball in the correct position from the trainer, and I have the club in my hands, which we're going to give you this training club as well. I'm going to show you this in a second. When I'm standing here like this, and I'm just standing here in the correct, ideal single plane address position, I'm learning. Right now, I'm getting feedback. Visual, where are my hands? How do I feel? Where am I tilt? What am I looking at? Where the ball is, where the club face is, where my feet are. I am picking up information. I am learning right now. This is giving me proprioceptive feedback. So just by standing here with the proper aid on the ground and this training club, which I'll explain this in a second, I am learning. This is where people get really, really messed up, is they just take this for granted. They don't realize how important it is to just learn from what you see, what you feel, and just experience this repetitively. So I'm learning. It's called proprioception. My body is subconsciously picking up all these cues. If this was not down here, and I did not have this training aid in my hand, I'd be lost when I'm learning. So since I cannot put a coach in the room with you, I have coaching devices in the room with you. This is one of them. That's on the ground here, teaching you where you need to stand, where the ball is, where your feet are. The second coaching aid I have is this training club. It teaches you how the lead hand fits in this club. It shows you where the trail hand goes. It's painted in a certain way. And when I set up with this thing, notice the paint, when I set it on the ground, it gives me the proper distance from the ball. I can't go through every specific detail of this. You'll learn about this when you get this in the class. This teaches you proper hand position, distance from the ball, and shaft lean position with the way it's painted. So this thing gives you some visual guidance as well. It's a coach, another coach. The other coach I have for you is the single plane trainer. This has that same grip on it. This creates this alignment. Position 1, plane, and then back to impact plane. This thing teaches you how to put the club on plane. So this is another coach. So I have 3 coaches for you that are in the room for you. I'm going to give you, that's $420 in value. I'm going to give you those coaches in the program. And I'm hearing it from my team, tonight only. If you're watching this on a replay tomorrow, it's too late. You don't get it. Even though you may see me say this, if you didn't show up live tonight, which is Thursday night, what time is it? 7:30? 7:48. 7:48. Too late. You got to do it tonight to get these training aids, all right? Because we don't have that many, and I don't want to give them to people that weren't. You guys showed up. You guys spent the time with me. You guys want it bad enough. You showed up live. You deserve the extra bonus, so you get those tonight. We also added something. This is from the iteration of this class. How many months have we done this class now?
This is going to be
18? 19 months. This is our 19th month doing this class, single plane 30. And we've had an average, 200 people, 250? So we added, because this was an important part of the class, single plane fitness. This is another component we've added to the class. So if you're new to this, this is the first time you're seeing this. Or if you're not new to this is the first time you're seeing this. It focuses on the posture, rotation, hip mobility, and strength. So we're adding some components to this. This is a $200 value we're adding to this class just for you guys. You guys will be the first ones to get it if you join the class tonight. So all that together, we're going to give you everything: single plane 30 class, the power generation master class, the single plane fitness modules, the coaching training aids that go with it. It's a $3,000 value for $297. All that tonight only on those training aids. Gravesdolf.com/enroll. I'm really ready to take some questions if you're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Did you want me to read that one?
Yeah, 21, Tristan.
I want to do something real quickly before we get into the questions. We had a July, this current month, people are inside the program. This is their last week of the program. So they're 3 weeks into it. This is a quick testimonial from David B. He said, and let me just read this to you since David can't be here. I'm 3 weeks into the July single plane 30. It's difficult to describe how impressive the results have been. I've been down the swing mechanics rabbit hole for 5 years. We all have, right? I've seen more success in the past 3 weeks than I have in 3 years. We are currently sequencing position 0 to 2, grabbed a pick with my cheap launch monitor, and this is the best I've ever looked at the top of my swing. If you're checking the stats, the monitor is about 10 to 15 yards short when hitting into the net with my lower lofted irons. I couldn't be more pleased. So glad I found Graves Golf and the coaches, Scott and Matthew. Again, the coaches are supporting you in the program as you go through it. So obviously, thank you for that testimonial. We've heard a lot of that, guys. We have a lot of people that, look, this is the first program you'll ever see that's systematized, has a formula, can solve your problem, has a model golf swing that's perfected, right? That's the first time, that's why it works. And I'll tell you what, how many people we still have on? 350?
Yeah, right around it.
I'll do this. If you don't love the program like David, if you don't love the program, I'll give you 100% of your money back. 100%. Just call me and say, wasn't for me, I'll give you 100% of your money back. That's how important it is for me to show you and get you in this program, because I know 100% that'll be the last lesson you ever need. Here's a question from Frank. I have back pain, will this help? Let me show you how many of you in the chat, give me a yes or a no if you have back pain. I want to know how many guys have back pain. According to the stats, it's over 50% of golfers who play golf will experience back pain at some point in their career. In the conventional swing, the swing that most people learn, it's biomechanically flawed at the beginning of the swing. Why is it biomechanically flawed? Well, because we're not starting on the impact plane. Our arms and club, we're too close to the ball. So when we get this close to the golf ball, we have to make room for the club. So when we come down, we've got to move up. So we have to create kind of a jumping effect. We have to lift our bodies. The problem with lifting our bodies is that we're going down as well. So we're going down and we're lifting. So we have two things happening. We have part of our body going up and part of our body going down. This creates what we call compression in the lower back. The problem with the compression is a problem, but what exacerbates the problem is rotation creates shear. So now we're twisting the back as we're compressing it. That's why we have back pain. So how does the single plane swing, what I'm teaching you, solve that problem? Well, we're going to have rotation because we need rotational speed in the swing. We solve the compression problem, which when we don't have the compression, we don't get the shear. So because we start and we impact, see how my body no longer has to go up? I can stay down. When I stay down, I don't have compression. I can rotate without the shear. That's how we save people's backs as well. That's a huge benefit of the single plane swing. Another question, are the classes live? The daily modules are delivered daily, they're not live, but then we do live segments throughout the week. So you'll see us hop on live. I've been known to hop on live a couple times a week, depending on my schedule, but the coaches will be with you live once per week to answer questions. Usually it's Monday, right, Scott?
Yeah, we usually do
Mondays, but sometimes they vary the schedule. But it'll be announced, you'll get notifications for it. We go live with you once a week in a group setting, And then I hop on live once in a while just to coach you guys. When I have time, I'll hop in there. I do it with every month's class. I pop in there. Sometimes it's a couple times a week. Sometimes it's once or twice a month, depending on my schedule. Here's a good question. What if I can't do the training every single day? I don't want you to miss too many days. If you miss 1 or 2 days, you'll be fine. You might have to make up some training. It's called progressive training, so it works progressively, so you want to stay up with it. Some of it's repetitive, so you're okay, but you don't want to miss a week, right? Don't miss a week. If you start missing a week, call us up and we'll try to put you in the next class. Don't miss a week though, stay on it. But you can miss 1 or 2 days, you'll be fine. Just don't miss more than 2 days.
Giveaway.
Okay, let me tell you what this is, by the way. Some of you that are new to this, we also have a yearly membership for coaching, which means you can work with our coaches for 12 months. The program costs $1,000 a year. We're going to give one away tonight to somebody on a program. Daniel Helms of California has won a level 3 membership for 1 year, which is basically $1,000 for being on the program tonight. So Daniel, thanks for being with us tonight. Okay, back to the program. Single plane 30, tonight only. You get the training aids, you get the single plane fitness modules, and the power generation masterclass for $297. And by the way, I had this discussion, guys, and I'm going to make my team hold to it. Next month, I'm raising the price of single plane 30. We're going to add $100 to $200 to it. This will be the cheapest you ever see the program with these training aids. So its price is going up, just to let you know. All right, what are these starting grip pressures, each hand 0 to 10 scale, and how do those change throughout the swing? Theodore, okay. So let's talk about grip pressure. One of the things I want you to understand is not so much on the pressure of the grip, but the function of the hands. So people get caught up in grip pressure, and here's what you have to understand about the hands. Biomechanically, these are clamps. They just hold the golf club, right? What pressure tends to affect is the way the wrists work. So what we should be more concerned with is not the pressure in the hands, but how the wrists function. So we get pretty caught up in grip pressure when we should be caught up in how the wrists are working. So let's study for a second, biomechanically, how the wrists work. So let me go and address. This is called ulnar deviation. This is ulnar deviation. This is ulnar, and then when the thumb goes back towards the radius, that's called radial. So you got ulnar and you got radial, okay? So at address, I'm ulnar deviated. When I go ulnar deviated, the fingers hold the club into the heel pad, so the pressure comes from underneath. It certainly can't come from the top because the wrist is ulnar deviated. So the pressure is in the bottom part of the lead hand, and on a scale of 1 to 10, a 6. I mean, it's holding it there against the palm, right? Now, when I start taking the club back, the wrist goes radial. And when it goes radial, now the pressure goes into the thumb. So I can feel the pressure on plane. So I still feel about a 6 here, but now I feel some more pressure here on the lead part of the wrist. Now, what's interesting is the trail hand supports that because this wrist goes radial. So it goes like that. That's what creates that angle. That's what I'm going to hit with. That's what's going to produce power. So let's call it a 6, ulnar to radial, and then back to ulnar at impact. And again, I feel probably a 6 or a 7 there at impact. Okay? Trail hand. Interesting. If I was going to skip a rock, again, guys, this is all biomechanics. I would take the rock and I would put it where? Look at where the rock is. It's in the longest lever. See, that's the longest lever my hand can form right there. You wouldn't skip a rock from here. You wouldn't grab it in the palm and skip a rock, right? You wouldn't do that. You couldn't throw it. You put it in the longest lever. And so now what happens is, not only do I have the longest lever with my wrist, I also can bend the arm. And now I can skip, right? I can skip. That's a skipping motion. Notice it's non-rotational as well. Non-rotational, see that? So, having said that, where is the rock? It's in the longest index finger where the longest lever is. So now, watch this. When I grab the club, the pressure is where that longest lever is. That's it. And it's about a 3. Why? Why do I want very little pressure in this trail hand? Because I want the arm to be able to bend. If I have too much tension in the arm, I can't bend it. So 6 or 7, 1 or 2, It's where the pressure is in the hands that matters, so I can use the wrists and then release the wrists. So this is skipping rocks. This is ulnar, radial, ulnar. That's probably the best answer I've ever given on the grip pressure.
Really is.
Okay, here we go. Todd, is there any additional club head speed gained by transferring to the left side faster, or the pelvis moves faster from 2 to 3? Will you increase club head speed? Thank you. If you understand kinematic sequencing, this question needs to be answered with kinematic sequencing. The sequence of the body, there's a 3-to-1 ratio. Backswing, it's going to be too complicated to go into all that. So speeding one part of the body up isn't really the answer. You have to speed up the arms and the hands. That's what produces more club head speed. What helps, you said if I move to the left, well, I gain if I move to the left side faster. You need stability. So watch this. It's not about moving to the left side faster. It's about gaining stability so you can move the upper body faster. And so a lot of people think, well, if I turn my hips faster, I'll swing faster. It doesn't work that way. What makes a lot of sense though is to stabilize, keep your stability so you can accelerate faster. So the key is stability. If you're gonna have me help you produce more speed, I gotta go to my formula, because guys, you cannot answer these questions. You cannot logically answer that question without looking at the formula. So let's go through it. 1, how is your address and grip? Are you in the proper positions to produce speed? Do you have the proper body position and hand position? Can you leverage the club? If you can't leverage the club, you've lost an angle. I don't care how fast you move your body rotationally, you can't produce speed. Are your hands on there correctly? Are your wrists working correctly? Okay, that's 1. Number 2, are you hitting the positions? Are you getting the proper positions to produce speed? Are you stable? Are you able to leverage the golf club? Can you produce speed? Are any positions? I'm going to look at every position. Then I'm going to say, are you able to put the brakes on, or how's the braking system working? And then I'm going to add speed. Most people, you are not losing speed because you're not swinging fast enough. You're losing speed because you can't swing fast enough. You can't swing fast. Something is wrong and you can't swing fast. You're out of position. You're not able to put the brakes on because you're out of position. There's some technical thing, because I guarantee it. You've seen the golf swings that he didn't like he even swung and the ball's going a mile. That's because the technique is there. I'm a technique first guy. That's what I'm known for. I fix your technique, and the speed is a result of good technique. And there's this thing called efficiency in biomechanics. I want efficient speed. Why? Why? Why do I want efficient speed? Because the most important moment is impact. Because I want you to get to impact. See, I can give you speed. If you can't find impact, it's no good, right? So I want impact. And I'm going to give you efficiency to get to impact and then add speed. Oh, I got a YouTube question. I have a question. What's the best way to start backswing of the single plane swing? Shoulders, left arm, right arm. I have muscles, tension, problem. Arms. Okay. Let's go through my formula. Address and grip. So let me ask this question. I know, is Hunter on there? So Hunter, based on what I've said tonight, let's just go through this biomechanically. In order to produce motion, what must I have? Stability, right? I must be stable to produce motion. So I'm in my address and I'm going to start my backswing. What I'm going to do is, as I start my backswing, I'm going to initiate with upper body, right? Because that upper body moves first, right? This triangle moves first, but I got to stabilize against my trail leg. I got to have stability to move. So there's 2 things happening simultaneously. I'm moving the upper body into position 1 as I stabilize into the trail leg. That initiates the swing. So I'm initiating stability and movement into that trail leg. It all happens in sequence together. That's what happens in the sequencing chart. What you don't want is just move the arms, and you don't want just move the hips. You want as you move the upper body, you stabilize it so you can accelerate it to the top. So you have to accelerate to the top. There's an acceleration that happens here, and that stops at the top. So if I'm going to accelerate one direction, I got to have stability. So the upper body starts it. It stabilizes against the trail leg. You accelerate to the top. That's what happens in the backswing. Rick from YouTube, do you feel your left hand on downswing forcefully staying square? No, I feel my left hand feels like this. It's square at address, right? I feel that. It goes radial to produce leverage, goes back at impact to ulnar. So it goes back to square. So it goes ulnar, leverage, ulnar. That's what I feel. Like I'm hitting a wall. Like if I had a wall sitting right here, my back of the hand's against the wall, I produce a speed producing wrist and I slam it into the back of the wall. That's what I feel in the hand. Because what you want, and the question to that is, what you want is the club on plane. And then the club to return to square. So you want the plane, because the plane, by the way, is where speed comes from, right? Okay. Here's the deal. Let's go through this one more time because we're going to wrap the show. We got a lot of good questions tonight. Gravesgolf.com/enroll. The guys have been putting that in the chat and the link, so make sure you go there. When we wrap this show up tonight, and if you guys want to see this again tomorrow and learn this, you won't get all these discounts. So you got the single plane 30 class, that's a $2,000 value. You got the power generation class, which you should take after this, which we're giving to you for $497. You got the fitness modules, another $197 value, and the training aids, the $420, the coaching aids for $420 that go away tonight. Those won't be there after this for only $297. We're going to be increasing the price of this program going into going into September and October. So August, this next program, which starts the first Monday of next month, August, the 2nd of August, was when this program starts. This will be the last time you ever see this for $297. Okay, so sign up, get in the program. We're taking 200 people for August, so hopefully you can fit into that. And if you want those training aids, you got to do it right now. Gravesgolf.com/enroll. So we will wrap this up. Now, that link will be open for how long?
Till midnight.
Okay, so the link is at midnight. This deal's off, so you got till midnight tonight to click that link. Just do it right now, get it over with. And if you need any help, you guys got support on there. Get a hold of you guys. Scott, you got your deal on there. So Scott's, so you can get a hold of this if you need some help. We'll love to get you in the program. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I will see you inside Single Plane 30 for August.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But he'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.